Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is part 5 of this massive unboxing. I'm going to get into some really cool comics. During every sale that I buy, where I buy a bunch of things from my comic shop or from eBay, I mix in some just random books. And you're going to see a little bit of that in this unboxing, where people ask me, why did you buy that? And I don't know sometimes how to respond. I don't know why I buy some books. And you're going to see that a lot in this collection, that there's some books that are kind of impulse buys, and I'll get to that. So the first in that theme of impulse buys is a series of books from the Known Association. And it was basically a self-publishing kind of thing. I saw an interview with the guy that, ran that company. And I just impulsively bought his entire published works. So they're not like anything valuable. They're all dollar bin kind of books, but I bought them. So it's here's the Green Skull. I thought that was kind of cool. But I really enjoyed the interview, so I kind of bought his whole collection. So this is Joe Zabel and Gary Dumm. And so then we got another one that he did was called Bulletproof. And did a series called Runaway. And I literally just bought his entire collection of self-published books. And then Wolf Run is the last one from him. So, as I said, impulse buys, little kind of weird that I'm buying these, $1,000 books, and then I buy literally dollar bin books. So, I don't know. I'm weird. Okay, so the next one is Mr. E, Low Grade King. He was showing some books related to I forgot what it was related to something or other that I did a challenge on, and I actually was very intrigued by one of the books that he showed. It was it was first cover appearances. So he showed this book. And this is the first appearance of LCD. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. This is her first cover appearance. Her first actual appearance, and that was really the theme, was to show first cover appearances. Her first appearance actually was in the book before it, which is number 38. So this is her first cameo, or first full appearance, and then that was her first cover appearance. And this is actually the first full appearance of Albert, another character who's like this sort of like cyborg, or like a robot version of Wolverine. Okay, and his first cameo, so it kind of got me buying all these random books, was in number 37. So that's kind of a random number of books that I bought just because I was curious about that character. And then some other ones that I kind of bought that were kind of interesting was I like Elektra, so I figured I'd get her first solo series. This is her first solo series from 1996. I thought this was kind of a nice cover too, actually. And then we got, this one's kind of a funny one. This is Betty and Me 61. And in this, there's a bit of a sexy pose for Betty. So I was sort of told about this one. And it's like just sort of an under the radar kind of book. Inside it, you have to look through it. You can see that there's a sexy pose where she kind of a semi-nude pose of Betty. And it's kind of funny. So it's just kind of an under radar book for people that like to collect Archie stuff, bit sexy ones. That's this one. So I thought that was kind of funny. And A lot of the books that I purchased when I was buying a lot of this stuff at Stackry were during the Halloween, phenomena. So I actually was really into the Halloween stuff, and I really liked this book. This is kind of like an Elvira. This is Elvira, actually. But it's a Kevin Eastman Virgin variant. So it's kind of a cool book. And it's not an expensive book. It's just kind of I just like the cover. So it's Kevin Eastman that did it, though. And then I bought a series called Vampironica. And I actually have Vampironica's first and second appearance, which is in Betty and Veronica 261 and 262. But this is her first solo series. So, but I thought it was kind of cool, like a little cheerleader thing going on. And it was a 4-issue series. So this is number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Okay, so that's some of the random stuff that I bought. And another one, I forgot what the key is about this book. But this is the 3rd series of Black Widow. And it's Black Widow number 1. It's kind of a cool cover. I actually like the cover, but there's a key significance about this. I'll put it in the description notes. So if I ever forget what the key significance of a book is, I always put it in the description, video description notes. So if you look in the video description notes, it'll say, oh, I remember after the fact what the key significance of this book is, and I put it there. So always look in the description notes, and I'll try to tell you what the key significance of some random book that I bought because it was on some hot list or something, and I got FOMO and then ended up picking it up. So yeah, I am very much a victim of FOMO. So yeah, but I actually like the cover. So a lot of the time when they do these hot lists and they say, oh, that's a key book, and if it has a cool cover, like a bit of a good girl cover, I'll get sucked in. So it's kind of funny. And then some other books. This one I just thought was really cool. It's The Island of Dr. Moreau. I actually really liked the 40s movie. I think it was 40s or 50s movie about this. But basically it's an island where there's like a mad scientist, and he basically converts people into, or he mixes people with animal DNA and makes like these hybrid creatures. And it's a very cool movie. They made a remake later on, and it was just terrible. It's just a really bad movie. I think it had Val Kilmer in it. It was just didn't really do that well. And what's another movie? South Park would make fun of this. In its early seasons of South Park, they made fun of the Island of Dr. Moreau. So it's just a really cool movie, and this is the first appearance in comics of that. So kind of cool. And I think it was Night Tiger, another channel. His Instagram, he'll post out certain books, and he posted this one out. I think he found it in the dollar bin, so I bought it. Also kind of that dollar bin level. But I just thought that it was a really great robot cover. Really awesome robot cover. So yeah, I just thought it was really cool. So this is Volt number 1, or 9 Volt, I think it's called. Yeah, 9 Volt. Just a really great, good girl robot cover. I like the little wind up thing in the back. I thought it was really awesome. So, and then there's I think this is number 2, a bit more sexy. So yeah. And so I picked up the whole series. That's how lame I am. I'm a bit of a completionist, even with these dollar bin books. So this is number 3. And number 4. It just fell on the floor. That was funny. Okay, I'm creating this big stack and it's gradually falling down. One sec here. There. Okay. And some other random stuff. I forgot who told me about this book, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And it's the elf thing. It's sort of like a mixture of, it almost reminds me of Swamp Thing plus, or Man Thing, maybe. Man Thing plus Hulk 1, where he kind of transforms. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So this is just a parody book. Just kind of thought it was funny, so I kind of liked it. I collect Elf Quest, so it's kind of in that line. And then another series that I bought, I just really wanted to have a little bit of a run of it. And I have like a few books from it, is the 10th. I believe this is the first appearance of the major characters for the 10th. So this is 10th number 1 and first series from 1997. It's got that typical 90s look to it. It's like such a 90s book. And then there's number 1 from the second series. And there's a really, like, there's one that I think it's like issue 10 or something like that. There's like, I have it as a raw copy. It's like a nude variant. But that's really, really pricey. So I was kind of curious about this series, and I thought this was kind of sexy series. And then this is another mini-series from it, which is the 10th Evil's Child. And we got number 11 from the second series. Nice snake cover. Could have used this when I was doing my snake challenge. So, kind of cool. I believe, I'm trying to think, almost looks like J. Scott Campbell style, but it's Tony Daniel that did the art. And then we got 10th Evil Child number 2. So these are just, as I said, I buy some random stuff and then I torture you guys by showing it all. But I get into these weird things. So the theme of this video is really me buying some really random stuff. I will show some big books at the end, though, so don't worry. Okay, so I'll just keep on just showing the 10th. The issue numbers are not that important. This is number 4. Kind of a sexy cover, though. This is a great Halloween one, actually. I really like this cover. It's got I like the Halloween kind of look. This is 10th number 13, and a good issue number 2. I like when it's 13th and it's kind of got that Halloween theme. Seems to be fitting. And then number 2. So I was basically getting the complete series. Kind of the more sexy covers, really. Okay, and just a few more things from that group. We got Thing from Another World. I showed in a previous video a slab with this series that I got. Thing from Another World number 1. And Thing from Another World number 2. I thought this was kind of a nice cover, though. I really like this one. That's why I picked it up. So I just thought it was a really great cover. And Marvel Fanfare number 25. Now, I did promise, as I said, some big books. So I'm going to show you some big books. That's what I do. So I really like my first appearances. And I actually deliberately target certain first appearances of characters or people that I like. And that's the key with this book. This is the Green Hornet number 1 from the Gold Key. So this is not the very first appearance of the Green Hornet or Kato, but it is the very first time that we get Bruce Lee in comics. So that's Bruce Lee. He played Kato, And actually that was what really led to his fame in the United States, was that he was very popular as Kato in the Green Hornet. He was kind of all the action in the series, and he would do some pretty cool things. And the Green Hornet was kind of lame in a way. And that's kind of the whole joke about the Green Hornet. The Green Hornet himself is not necessarily the best fighter or anything like that, but Kato is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's just a really kind of cool series. It was a TV series, and this is really the photo cover from the TV series, and it was in the 60s. And then later they made a movie with Seth Rogen. Is it Seth Rogen? Which was actually quite good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, so this is the Green Hornet #1. And it's a fairly pricey book because there are a lot of Bruce Lee collectors. But I like Bruce Lee because I'm into martial arts. And I also like the Green Hornet. So kind of a mix of both. I was actually looking at trying to pick up the original Golden Age first appearance of Green Hornet, but that's like a $3,000 to $4,000 book. So it's one of those ones that's on my wish list. So yeah, definitely one that I'm working to get. Okay, in a previous part of this massive unboxing, I showed #4 from this series that I'm about to show. This is #5. And this is Terrors of the Jungle, which is features like L.B. Cole artwork. You can always recognize L.B. Cole's artwork by the the bright oranges and the kind of color palette that he uses, just his artwork is very distinctive because of that color palette. The interesting thing about these books were they were reprints, really, of earlier Golden Age books. What he would do is he would put on his own covers. So it was actually Star Publications, which was owned by L.B. Cole. Well, he got all the licensing rights to a bunch of Fox publication stuff and other publishers and Novelty Press and stuff like that. And he basically would reprint the stories and then put on one of his awesome covers. So these awesome covers are unique, and collectors definitely chase after them because they are very, very cool covers. I'm trying to get the complete run of this series. I'm missing, like, it's kind of a weird thing because it goes, it's called Terrors of the Jungle, then it's called Terrifying Tales, and then it's Terrors of the Jungle again. It's just kind of changes its name midway through. But it's definitely a really great series because of the artwork and the covers that were involved. So this is quite a hot book for that reason. It's also a great book because it's a bondage cover. Got the girl, her arms are tied behind her back. It's a great elephant cover. You got the the guy literally fighting the elephant with a dagger, and you got this other guy getting thrown away by the elephant. It's just a really great cover. L.B. Cole, when you look at his covers, and there's just a lot of details. I almost have to zoom in for you so you can see it all. There's a lot of details. So when you first look at it, you're always going to get the girl. You get the girl right off the bat. You can see the girl. You're like, oh, that's really great. But then all the subtle features start coming into play. And there's a lot of details that are in these books, these covers, that are just really, really great. So definitely a great Golden Age series to pick up. And it's Terrors of the Jungle. It's a nice pre-code horror book. Okay, so that has been this part of the unboxing. And I'll always try to put in some fun big books at the end or in somewhere in the videos. So don't worry. Just because I show some crazy just like impulse buys, I don't always buy just dollar bin stuff, and I want you to kind of get a bit of fun out of it as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next parts because it gets bigger and bigger. Okay, bye for now.